Good morning and welcome to a day in my life as a knitter who took a day off of working to knit and do knitting things. My name is Emma and this is my channel where I like to share with you guys all of the knitting related things that I get up to. And today that is binding off the last sleeve on my Salty Day sweater by Katova Kika or Veronica Lindberg. I always get that mixed up. It calls for an Italian bind off, which is not my favorite, but I will do it. It definitely lends itself to a more seamless finish and is typically worth the time that it takes. I am just an impatient person and I prefer more instant gratification. But this sweater has been a trial of my patience. I started this on December 23rd, and honestly, it should have been finished like at least 2 weeks ago because I have ripped this thing back so many times, and it's mostly just because of the lace work. I don't know why I seem to struggle so much with lace work. I have never done it before this sweater, and honestly, I don't hate it. But I cannot let even the smallest imperfection slide. Like, I have to go back and fix it, or I will just obsess about it and obsess about it and obsess about it, and I will never want to wear the sweater because of it. So I have ripped the sweater back so many times just to fix like one small little mistake that probably nobody would have ever noticed, but naturally I had to because I would think about it every second of every day for the rest of my life if I did not. But all that to say, it is done. It is complete, and I think I love it. Definitely has been a labor of love. This is my first time knitting with Drops Kid Silk Mohair for myself, and I'm a little bit apprehensive because I know I've heard some people say that it's really itchy and whatnot, but I have loved it in the swatch that I made. So I'm hoping that I really enjoy wearing it paired with my Knit Picks Wool of the Andes. So I have finished binding off my Salty Day sweater sleeve, and I have treated myself to casting on another Monday sweater by Petite Knit. This one I am doing in Knit Picks Swish DK in the color Squirrel Heather, and I am loving it so far. I've already made the Monday sweater, but I made it at a worsted weight gauge because that's the yarn I had on hand, and I wanted to get my feet wet with knitting sweaters with yarn that I did not care about. But turns out I love knitting sweaters. This was the first one I ever made, was my original Monday sweater, and I love it so much, and I wear it constantly. So I definitely needed another one. And I'm excited because this one is going to be knit 2 gauge and knit with a wonderful soft next to skin yarn. I honestly probably will never take it off. So I am basic. I like my closet staples and basics, and give me all the Monday sweaters. If you have knit a Monday sweater, let me know what yarn you've used and how you like it. I need all the inspiration. But yes, this was my treat for finishing my Salty Days sweater. Just something a little bit basic and much more simple. Although German short rows, I hate them. I hate them. I really struggle with picking up the make one right and left in the round on the wrong side when you're purling. I have such a hard time picking them up pro-wise, and I have to get it right. I cannot let it have too big of a hole, or I will go back and I will fix it. But this has just been so nice to work on something a little bit more simple, enjoy my coffee, and I would be reading, but I am anxiously awaiting a new book release tomorrow. And here is my finished Salty Day sweater. It is fresh off the needles, definitely needs blocking, and I think I love it. It definitely is in need of a blocking. I want to see if it will grow to the size that I knit it to, which is the size small, which should have a finished bust circumference of 42.75 inches, I believe. And that is pretty much exactly what I wanted. So I am blocking it, filling my tub, or you can use a bucket or bin, just anything that water can fully submerge your garment in. And you don't want it to be cold, but you don't want it to be hot. And you don't want to ever change the temperature once your sweater is in there. Like, obviously, if your water cools down with your sweater in there, that is totally fine. But you don't want to shock it with temperature changes because that can cause felting. After it's soaked in your wool wash and water for however long, at least 15 minutes, but I typically do longer, you can fully lift it and support the whole sweater and gently squeeze some of the water out. Then we're going to lay down a towel and properly lay out the sweater, how it's, going to be blocked, and just get everything positioned so you don't create any weird creases. And once you've got it all laid out on your towel, you're going to top it with another towel and roll up from one end, making sure that you're just, getting everything without a bunch of creases. And then you want to step on it and press out all the extra water that you can. You can do this entire step again with a fresh set of towels if you feel like it still needs to be dried a little bit more before you block it. But I thought that mine was okay, so I'm going to get my blocking mats, which are from Knit Picks, the premium blocking mat kit, I believe it is. Comes with everything you need, all your blocking mats, which the 1-inch grid on them is really nice, so that way you can measure things easily and you just make sure that you're lining things up properly. And it's really nice that you can change the configuration of how you have the mats laid out. I definitely did change it from this original one because I could not remember how I liked to have them laid out for sweater sleeves, but it's really easy to do. Now I am checking what the finished bust circumference should be, so that way I can check my sweater and see where I compare with that and see how much I'm going to need to or want to stretch it out to match that. And I can see that I am about 1.5 inches to 2 inches short of the recommended. The total bust circumference, I believe, was 42.75 inches. And I was getting a flat measurement of 20 inches, which would mean a total circumference of 40 inches, which is a good 2 inches narrower than it calls for. But with all this lace and ribbing, I knew I could very easily stretch it out 1 more inch flat, which would have given me 2 inches in total circumference. So that is what I did. Now I've just made sure that I have blocked the sides straight and I have blocked the bottom hem straight. That's another thing I really take care to do, so that way I don't wind up with a wavy hem. And a lot of hems can do like a U-shaped curve upwards, and blocking them straight really prevents that. And I know that I did knit my sweater probably 1 inch shorter than called for, just because I like to tuck in my sweaters and wear them a little bit more cropped. So I just wanted to make sure that I did stretch it to as long as I wanted it to be. And I'm just checking measurements like my shoulder seams to make sure that they are the same length, that my underarm to hem measurement is the same on each side, so that way it's not crooked. Because how it dries when it's blocking is how it will stay until you reblock it or wear it enough that it settles. Now I'm just adjusting a couple of pins here. When I first started knitting, I did not think that I really needed blocking mats, but I quickly came to realize that they were so beneficial for doing a sweater like this. I don't think I could get a really good block without blocking mats and pinning it out. There's just so much ribbing, especially in the arms here, that I would not want them to be unblocked, because a lot of people have mentioned with this sweater that the arms, they cinch in so much that they have knit them larger, or there are even people who have, I think somebody created charted sleeves that match the body's pattern, and that I assume eradicated a lot of the cinching in trouble that a lot of people have with the sleeve just being too tight. I also think it really depends upon what kind of yarn you use. Like obviously if you use something like a cotton, your sleeve ribbing isn't going to relax as much as something with a wool. Like mine is primarily wool with some mohair, and I think that mine are going to relax just fine. But regardless, I am still stretching them out and blocking just to make sure that they look good. Like, this is honestly my biggest complaint with this pattern is I don't like how the sleeves look, but I'm really hoping that that changes after blocking. At the time of filming this and doing the voiceover, it is still not dry, so I will definitely be updating you guys on the sweater and going over all my thoughts about it and my experience with it in my next podcast. So I definitely would love it if you would subscribe and catch my next podcast, which will hopefully be next week. I am trying to stick to a weekly upload every Monday, but at this time I am still working, taking a lot of time to do videos is sometimes a little bit difficult, but I truly love it and I really want to stick to a weekly upload right now. And I hope that you will subscribe and follow along with me on all of my plans for this year. I've got a lot of great plans that I can't wait to share with you guys. So now the sweater is blocked, it is drying, and my day is about done. So I am sitting down after dinner. You can see my little one there playing with me while I get my pattern set up on my iPad and work on a few more German short rows on my Monday sweater. It has been a very nice day off of work, and I've gotten a lot of knitting done, a lot of non-knitting things such as, the normal housework and feeding children and just being mom. But overall, it has been a really nice day. I've enjoyed bringing you guys along with me. You'll have to let me know if this kind of format is something you would enjoy. In the future, I will do more directly talking to the camera while I'm vlogging. My kids were just very loud and disruptive today, so I pretty much stopped stressing and worrying about trying to talk to the camera and said, you know what, today I will just do a voiceover and it's gonna be fine because at least then I can pretty much make sure my kids aren't going to be screaming in the background while I'm trying to talk to you guys. And I really enjoyed doing this today, so definitely let me know if this is something that you would be interested in seeing more of. Just a real time, what I'm working on in a day and my progress in real time. I know I definitely enjoy watching these videos from other content creators in knitting YouTube, so I really had fun putting this out for you guys today. And I hope that you will like and subscribe and follow along for more fun videos this year. And let me know what you were working on while you were watching, if you were knitting, or your current favorite project that you have made or are making. I really love hearing what you guys are doing in the comments, the yarns you're working with, the patterns you're working with. It really is very inspirational to me. But that is all for me today, and I just really appreciate you guys being here with me and following along. And I'll give you a quick peek at where I'm at so far on my Monday sweater. Thanks, guys.